Hi, this is Alex Kantrowitz. I'm the host of Big Technology Podcast, a longtime reporter and an on-air contributor to CNBC. And if you're like me, you're trying to figure out how artificial intelligence is changing the business world and our lives. So each week on Big Technology, I bring on key actors from companies building AI tech and outsiders trying to influence it, asking where this is all going. They come from places like NVIDIA, Microsoft, Amazon, and plenty more. So if you want to be smart with your wallet, your career choices, in meetings with your colleagues, and at dinner parties, listen to Big Technology Podcast wherever you get your podcasts.
Hi, I'm Alicia.
And I'm Stacy.
And we make Trashy Divorces, everybody's favorite good podcast about bad relationships.
Looking for something true crimey without the gore or the body count?
We've been churning out funny, feisty, feminist episodes since 2019. So if you're looking to put some scandalous stories told well into your ears this summer, check out Trashy Divorces wherever you listen to podcasts.
Trust us, we've covered someone you love.
Or someone you love to hate.
Hey, I'm the Medium, and this podcast is for those who wish to understand the wonderful world of spirit. Where do we go when we die? I'll share stories of mine as a medium and other mediums in our journeys, plus you will hear real-life client readings so that you can know without any doubt that your loved ones in spirit are around you all the time. I'm Jen, and this is the Singing Medium Podcast. Hey everybody, thank you so much for joining me back on the Singing Medium Podcast. And this is going to be one of those episodes where I don't have a lot to say. I feel like that's not me. I feel like I could ramble on if I have an idea or if I have some inspiration, some inspired ideas coming in, then I could talk for hours. But I feel like I don't have a lot to tell you guys. But that being said, I am committed to this podcast and I'm going to give you some little things that came in, a couple things that happened to me. And I had promised on Instagram that I was going to share. I have two sort of predictions, and they're not scary. What? I feel like I need like some sound effects in the back, like whoa, 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 like what? Oh my God, Jen has something that's not negative and scary, which I know you've been asking for, and I've been trust me, I have been waiting for something, some sort of good news, potential good news. One is sort of good news. I just don't, okay, there's just some weird things going on. So I feel like there's this, you know how there's like light and dark that are fighting, right? There's a spiritual war, there's an alien war between good and evil, there's good and evil battles happening on Earth, there's Ukraine and Russia happening. And so we have this saying in the spiritual community that is as above, so below. And I never really understood that. What does that even mean? But it really means like, how you're behaving on Earth is also happening in the universe kind of thing, or happening in a different place. So we have basically for the last 3 years been fighting each other for, you know what, the truth is starting to come out. People are like getting pretty quiet that the truth has come out. Everyone who is like, you can't go to a restaurant and you can't go on an airplane and I hope you whatever gets sick and all these horrible things. I didn't personally go through much of that. But I know there's people who listening who have gone through a trauma with, you know, all of this back and forth and it's you against me that we're hopefully coming out of in a different way, you know? So I just wanted to acknowledge that. And if you have feelings about that, I don't want you to ever shove them down, okay? That was very traumatic for a lot of us. And maybe that's why I'm coming on here. But as above, so below. So if you're having like an internal struggle between, you know, doing something kind of shady and something good, that's also a version of that, as above, so below. So it kind of like goes up all the way up from layers at the bottom all the way up. So good versus evil, you'll notice that in many experiences in the human world and as above in the spiritual realms and different realms, there's always like a inner war going on. So then there'll be an outer war, right? So sort of a reflection of us. Now I know there's like a war, possibly World War III is what they're picking up on and saying this is going to happen if you follow, like, till I was like, I guess the pandemic, I guess when I was like 40, turned 45, all of a sudden I'm all over the news. Like I never followed politics. I didn't want to know what's going on. And I feel like it's really important that you know what's going on because I feel like there's truth and freedom. There's freedom in the truth, rather. There's freedom in knowing the truth, right? So if you're like, I don't want to know what's going on, don't tell me, Jen, block you, I don't want to follow these accounts on Instagram who are spreading the truth. It's what you can handle. So I feel like if you can't handle it for some traumatic reason, or you have a lot of trauma in your life, okay. But at some point you're going to have to like see what's coming up. Like the truth is coming out, as it always does, right? As you know, in your personal life, if you've ever told a little white lie, or maybe your spouse cheated on you and lied about it, and they're like, the truth always comes out. They say the truth will always come out, right? There's the light part of things. So we have this balance of good versus evil, light versus dark, which it's basically describing duality, which is, I feel like that's a human concept, a duality, because in the spiritual realms, there's no duality. It's like neutral. As you know, my things that come in are neutral. So going back with this war, and if you listen to the last episode, you'll be like, still reeling from the last episode, how there's a spiritual war going on. The reptilians are taking over. So go listen to that. And you're like, what are you talking about? Go back and listen to that episode. But there's just the only way to describe the feeling as a psychic is like elasticity. There's an elastic pulley energy to like, here's what's going to come, and here's what is planned out and going to happen no matter what, and here's what we can slow down. And so speaking of the light versus the dark, I feel like whatever the light is doing, so we're doing our work, we're meditating, we're expanding our consciousness, we're telling the truth, we're seeing the truth, we're sharing that light. We're not afraid to share our light anymore. We're not afraid to speak up, or this kind of thing. The more we do that, the more the light expands. So there's this like elasticity energy happening around the events that are going to transpire, or that we're supposed to transpire. So just keep doing what you're doing, because I feel like it's pushing against the darkness. They always say that the light always wins, right? But I can feel it in the context of like, here's what is on the timeline, here is what Nostradamus predicted, or here, your light is pushing. I can feel it. I can feel a change. It has like a charge to it, but I can see this bubble on your guy pushing against this light bubble. It's like pushing and pushing and pushing against it. And like, I feel like it's just getting stronger. So that is a positive shift that has been happening. So if you feel like, oh my God, like, I'm not saying that the things that are going to happen aren't going to happen anymore, but I do notice a difference in the energy. I do know. So with the World War III, I'm not saying it's not going to happen. I don't want to freak anybody out, but this war with Ukraine and Russia, there's something that this light that we're all emitting in the world is affecting the timeline of it. So you keep seeing articles, if you follow the news, that I have a total blank right now, but the Russian leader's like, I'm going to use nuclear war. I'm going to nuke all of you. And he keeps saying that, but he hasn't, right? Which obviously is a good thing. I know they're handing out iodine pills or whatever, but I can just feel the very strong pulsation of this light pushing. It's being delayed. And he wouldn't know, Putin, that's it. He wouldn't know why he's being delayed. Maybe it's a human agenda or whatever. I'm just telling you it's working. Okay? So when people are like, oh, it's World War III, if you didn't tell me there was a threat of that, I wouldn't pick that up. Like, I'm not like, oh my God, there's going to be a World War III. I'm not saying there's not going to be, but for some reason, it just doesn't feel as strongly on the timeline, if that makes sense. So the overall gist of it is that your light is working. So keep shining your freaking lights. And you're like, oh, I only have one little light. No. I keep hearing this little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Like, just let it, like, it's even like people who are like afraid to tell people that they're psychic, or afraid to tell people that they're mediums, or who are like, screw that, I'm just gonna tell people and own my light, or people who are in the community and they're like, I'm gonna come out as bisexual, I'm going to come out as queer, I'm going to, this kind of thing. Every time someone does that, every time someone steps into their light and owns their light and steps into their bravery, that is how we push back against this. So it's working. It is working. Okay? I'm just letting you know it's working. Oh, sorry, I can hear my cat. Can you guys hear my cat? I was like, what is that sound? I have headphones on, so hopefully this sounds better. I want to make the quality sound better. I have a mic, but sometimes I'm like too close to it. And anyways. Okay, announcements. Before I get into the 2 positive-ish psychic predictions that I have for this week, I have an announcement of I have just launched my winter class. One winter class I have launched for January begins Thursdays. It is, can you guess, medium level 2. So medium level 2 is going to start in January. I have an early access code. I'm going to give you the code and you get a discount on it if you sign up early. There are 7 spots remaining. There were 8. I was so happy. I love the kind of courses where I just launch it and like 2 seconds later someone signs up. That is my sign from Spirit that it's working, that it's aligned, it's easy. Okay, so the code is winter 23. Okay, all uppercase winter 23. So if you go and sign up, I gotta fix the website. I gotta contact my website guys and Mike. We gotta fix the website. We gotta put these courses on here. But right now they're on Instagram, and if you Google Elevate Her Soul booking, it comes up. Okay, so go in there. If you're not on Instagram, Facebook is in the comments of every post that I do. You go in and you get a code, you get a discount, winter 23, okay? So go ahead and set winter 23 mediumship level 2 classes. It's not an advanced class, it's like a continuation. So if you've only ever taken a medium level 1 class with me or someone else, this is a good transition. So even if you're new, you could start. You could come into medium 2 because there is review and you will learn as you go at your own pace. And I'm telling you, I don't know if I said this in the last episode or not, but my level 1 news, so we're on week 5 right now of medium 1, these students who came into my class, honestly, I know I say this maybe in every class, but I have this strong feeling about these ones. These ones are like super talented, very skilled. They got their they get very accurate evidence, like crazy accurate evidence. I have one student who gets names, not only of the contact with spirit she makes, the soul contact, she gets their name and she gets people names who he wants to say hello to, which, by the way, if you've ever taken a mediumship class or you're working on your development, you know that is very hard to do. That is a high development level quality mediumship, okay? They just surprised me and they surprised themselves because they came into this class be like, I don't know what I'm doing. I have no idea what I'm doing. And they're just skyrocketing. So if being a medium is something that you would like to pursue, go ahead and sign up for that. I would love to have you. And that is the only announcement that I have. I'm going to tell you a quick story and then I'm going to get into these 2 positivish, is that a word? No, it's a genism. I like to put ish on the end of things sometimes. Just to, keep you on your toes. So, funny story. We went, story time with Jen. we went, so Chad is a firefighter, okay? So he has obviously shift work, 24-hour shifts. And so on Thanksgiving weekend, he just happened to be working. So we couldn't have our dinner, couldn't have our turkey, couldn't get a turkey on. So he had booked a cottage for us to go and like an Airbnb to stay for a few days. And on the last day, we had our dinner. It was delicious. On the last day, it was raining before we had to pack up and go home. So I go outside in the rain, get my little galoshes on, take the dog outside. I want to go outside by the water because I don't care if it's raining. I don't care. I'll go with the rain. I want to be outside. So it's raining. Okay, it's raining. So I start walking, and I'm like, I'm not getting wet. Like, it's raining. Like, it's not pouring rain or anything, but it is raining. So I start walking and I'm standing on the dock and I'm like looking at the water, and to my left, not near any trees, it's raining. I see raindrops on the lake. To the front of me, about 20 feet ahead, it's raining. There's drops. It's raining. You can see the drops in the water and the lake. To the right of me, there's also drops. It was almost like a circle around me, like I had this big energetic field around me. There, it was not raining. Now, before you're like, okay, weirdo, you're full of you know what. I'm telling you, I stood there for 10 minutes trying to figure out what the heck was going on. So, knowing me, I'm like, okay, very matrixy thing happening right here. No rain on me. I'm not getting wet. My coat has no drops on it. Not at all. This big circle around me, it ain't raining, but it's raining. So I'm yelling for Chad. So I go up to the cottage and I yell for Chad. I'm like, can you come outside for a minute just to see something? He's like, yeah, okay, what's going on? I'm like, do you notice anything? He's like, yeah, it's coming off the trees. I'm like, look out on the water. There's no trees out there. You can't say it's dripping off the trees. It is raining out here. He's like, oh my God, I don't want to know. I don't want to know how you're doing that. I'm like, because he noticed too that it was not raining around us. So when he walked in my field, there was no rain. Okay, so I don't know what the heck was going on. It was super cool to witness this. I was like, oh, you're coming, take the red pill. It's the Matrix. You're going to see all the cool things that are happening. He's like, I don't want to know. I literally don't. I'm like, there is freedom in the truth. He's like, nope, I got to go. And so he walked back in the cottage, didn't want to know. But telling you, this legit happened. And I have a witness. He might just try to explain it. Like, we call him Chatty Nye the Science Guy because he knows science things, and it's a take on Bill Nye the Science Guy, so we call him Chatty Nye the Science Guy. If you ask him a question like, why is this happening? And he's like, well, the barometric, and he'll go into this whole thing. So he couldn't explain this phenomenon that was happening on the dock. And then I was like, okay, I'm going to go for a little walk. No rain. I didn't get wet at all. So I didn't have my phone. I wish I had my phone, but this was something that I really wanted to fully be present for. This was really cool. There's some cool shit that happens. So pay attention. I always tell you guys to pay attention to these little things in the Matrix. What's going on? Pay attention to these like weird things. Oh, that reminds me of another story. Hang on one second. Okay, so another Matrixy story that happened. We went to the pumpkin. Did I tell you the story already? This pumpkin patch? I don't think so. We went to the pumpkin patch on Saturday. Like, I feel like I told the story already. If I have, just ignore me. So went to the pumpkin patch. And I look over and I'm walking in this massive crowd on a Saturday at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And we're walking with our food to go back to find the rest of my family on a picnic table. And I stopped dead in my tracks because this woman was watching her grandson or her son do something. I don't know what he was doing, playing with water, doing an experiment. I don't know. But I swear on my life, this woman was frozen in time for 10 seconds. So if you can imagine like a surprise face, like, like a big happy surprise, like kind of thing face for like, she didn't move. She was frozen in time. Like I swear on my life, she didn't move. And I had time to nudge my daughter, but like, do you see that? She's like, what are you talking about? And I'm like, that woman is frozen in time. She didn't blink. She didn't move. She didn't lose her smile. I was like, so like, this is what I'm talking about. The more you do this work, the more you dig deeper in the truth, you're going to start to physically see that. I think, you know how there's a theory that we're in a computer simulation? I'm seeing more evidence of this all the time. All the time. It reminds me of The Truman Show, that movie, The Truman Show with Jim Carrey. If you haven't seen that movie, go watch it. 100% what's happening in our lives right now as we wake up on a massive scale, which I freaking love. Okay, here are the two predictions that are positive-ish. Okay, here we go. All right, so the first one, I only have two. The first one is, I'll just read it word for word that I got. There is a slight chance that we can avoid inflation and the prices will go down. Because I was thinking the other day, like, what's going to happen when our kids, like, Chad bought a turkey, it was $40, maybe $50 for a small turkey, a butterball. All you vegans are like, oh my God, you ate a butterball? Oh no, I don't. I'm not vegan, but after ayahuasca, the third time, I can't eat cows. Cows, no. Because ayahuasca showed me that we are the cow. We are the cow, the same consciousness as a cow. So I'm like, I don't want to eat myself. So that's the only animal that I cannot eat. I can't eat cow. To say I can't eat a hamburger, well, get the beef away from me. After another ceremony, I wasn't able to eat chicken, but then chicken is like pretty much the only one I want to eat. Because I went like cold turkey vegan one time a couple years ago, and I was like passing out and shit. So I'm like, okay, I gotta eat some meat. If you have any suggestions, let me know how I can do this, because I don't want to eat animals at all. I really don't want to eat animals. So there is a slight, because I was thinking of our kids, like, what are our kids gonna do if a turkey's $40 or $50 right now? What's it gonna be like in like when my kids are older? Like, Chad keeps telling our kids, don't have kids, man. Like, so I feel like at some point it's gonna go back down. Like, I'm not sure how. I don't know the how. It was more of a feeling, so clairsentient feeling that we can avoid inflation and the prices will go back down. So if we can't avoid inflation, it's going to be like, okay, someone's going to be like, okay, dude, we can't have celery being $25. People are not going to be able to eat. You know what I mean? And that being said, there's a weird feeling to that that's being planned. This is being planned. The prices of it going up. So at some point, someone's going to be saying, like, going to be like, okay, that's it. We're on to you. We know what you're doing. Cut the shit. Put the prices back down, because there's a purpose for this. That's the evil side of things, right? And I don't want to take from your positive-ish prediction. I'm just telling you. I always tell you to look at the underbelly of things. Look at the bigger picture. I feel like there's a plan here. This is a plan from the elites, the evilness, the government, whatever. Is doing this on purpose, okay? But there's a slight chance that it will go down. Then the second and final positive-ish prediction, and this is not really a prediction. It's more like it's like a weird thing. It's a weird thing. But I feel like Prince Harry is either knows already or is going to find out that I don't think King Charles is his father. I don't think so. Now, I kind of believe that the other brother is his, but I feel like Prince Harry is not, and I wonder if that's why they're treating him a little different than everyone else and using Meghan Markle as a excuse. You know what I mean? Now, are you picking up what I'm putting down? As always, I encourage you to use your own intuition, to expand your intuition, to use it. And that's the way you do it, is you use your intuition. People say, I'm going down the rabbit hole. No, you're not. Well, you are, but you're just digging in deeper. You're digging a little deeper because something feels off. And that is intuition, guys. I wrote a whole book about it. If something feels off, it is. All right. And maybe you have too much trauma. You're afraid. You don't want to go down the rabbit hole. That's okay. We will go down the rabbit hole for you. And at some point, what we are sharing is all coming uncovered. Everything's going to be uncovered. Don't you worry about a thing. I'm supposed to tell you, some of my listeners need to hear, don't you worry about a thing. Don't worry. It's going to be okay. We will get through this. And when they said, like, we're in this together, that's a program. We weren't in this together, but I think it was an invitation that we are going to band together collectively very soon. And we're starting to do it. So keep that light shining. Shine your dang light, because you're not just one person. It's helping push off all of these things that are on the timeline that are coming in. I'm telling you, what you're doing is working, my friend. All right, I'm sitting here. I'm like, guys, this is my nighttime routine. It's like 9 o'clock at night. It's actually after 9. It's 9:30 p.m. What am I doing awake? I'm awake because I had a nap and I'm going to pick up my daughter, and I'm usually in bed right now with my ice water and my Starburst and watching The Office. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I hope you guys have an amazing week, and I will see you all again next Friday on the Singing Medium podcast. In the meantime, go sign up for Mediumship 2. It's going to be amazing, and you will not regret doing that. See you later.